Okay, so today we will do chapter 5, that is cyber ethics. Okay, so the first topic of cyber ethic is what is cyber ethic. So you should know what is cyber ethics, isn't it? So cyber ethics refer to the code of responsible behavior on the internet. The one who is using internet may be for business purpose, for personal purpose, whatever, but they should know the responsibilities while working on internet, isn't it? So for that they should know what is good and what is bad. They should always do the correct thing on the internet. Fine. So today or in this chapter we will discuss about that. Fine, students. So the topic next topic is cyber ethics in e-commerce. Students, we have taken this e-commerce. Why? Because most of the people are doing online shopping, or okay, most of the people, they're associated on internet in e-commerce. Fine, that's why we have taken this as our topic as cyber ethics in e-commerce. So anyone who is using internet for their business, so what is e-commerce? Doing business on internet. So anyone is using the internet for business purpose, they should know what is good, what is correct for them, isn't it? They should know their responsibilities very well. So that is what we are discussing about. So if we come to cyber ethics in e-commerce, the first thing that comes will be privacy. So the person, the user who will be using or who will be just buying or doing business from a site, e-commerce site, the user will be providing many details like bank details or personal details to the site, isn't it? So it is the duty of the provider to protect the user's data. Fine. The provider is responsible if he is taking data, if he is getting data from a user, then it is his responsibility to keep it secure, to make it secure. Okay, so how he will do that? So we will at last we have some topics, so how they will do that. But first here we are discussing about the responsibilities, about the ethics. Okay, so the cyber ethics or the ethics of the provider is to protect the data, user's data. That is the first thing. Fine. So the next part is what? Fraud. Now here, what are the different frauds may have nowadays having? So we get unexpected price scams, unexpected money scams, job or investment scams, or identity theft. So we will come one by one in all this type of scams or all this type of frauds. So unexpected price scams. So we just generally get a message that you have just now shopped for Home Shop 18, you have just now shopped from Amazon and you have own a car and it will be delivered at your doorstep, but you have to deposit this and this amount of money, isn't it? So that is a scam. That is a type of scam that is also associated with e-commerce. Next, unexpected money scams. So you also may get a email that you have owned this dollar, this much dollar, and you need to pay this much tax in order to convert those dollars into Indian rupees, and then you will get that. Job or investment scams. In many websites you will get some advertisement for some jobs who will just promise you for a job directly for a manager post or something like with a high amount of salary. Then identity theft. Someone maybe pretend to be someone else, like someone from India itself may pretend to be a businessman from America or something like somewhere like that, and they may try to do business with you and then may get or may ask money from you also. These are some of the scams associated with internet. Okay, so we need to be aware of all these things. We need to be aware of all this type of scams. That's why these two topics we have taken first, privacy and fraud. These are mainly everyone should know how or what are their responsibilities. If someone is using internet, they should not involve in such type of scams. Okay, so that is the first thing. And second thing, if anyone is involved or they are just doing or internet, so they should try to protect the data they are getting and they are providing. So these are the first two important topics we have covered, right? Now next is how to ensure that our private data is secure. So we now and then, every now and then, we are using internet, we are giving our details there. So how we should ensure that our data, whatever we are providing there, it is secure? There are two main ways. First one, must associated with an e-commerce site which use only HTTPS protocol. Suppose we are buying from Amazon or Flipkart. First of all, we should know whether this site is secure or not, payments are secure, mode of payments are secure or not. Okay, so what secure means? What secure means that the provider, the one who is providing the e-commerce site, he must be using a protocol which gives a secure transmission. Fine. So HTTPS we have done in first chapter, hypertext transfer protocol secure. Fine. So this protocol must be used by the provider, then only we can ensure that whatever information we are giving is secured. It is securely transmitting from our end to other end and from that end to us. Fine. And the second thing is data encryption. We should, or we can do this, we can encrypt our data and then we can transmit it or exchange it. While exchanging important data, we should always do this. Try data encryption. Now students, I think you have many doubts regarding that data encryption. No worry, we will go in details about data encryption. So next, this one, say this. So here it is a flow chart showing how the information will go from my end to the other person while in encryption. Fine. Suppose I am writing a message. The message will be in plain text. Hi, how are you? Or this is my bank detail or whatever. It will be in plain text. Fine. After that, what happened? It will be encrypted. Means it will be transferred or transformed in a code, into a code. Fine. So you can see here it will be transformed into a code, and that code will be transmitted. It will travel from my end to other end. Okay, at the other end again, this code will be decrypted. Means this code will be again changed into the plain text, and that text will be able to read by the user at the other end. Fine. So how it will help? This will help. Okay, I'll give another example. Okay, say this. Suppose this is my name and I am sending it to some other end, and to the other end, and I am writing in place of Himadri, I am exchanging, I am writing it in code like IJNDESH. Okay, and this code, it will be transformed, it will be travel from one part to another, and then at the other end again this code will be decrypt, it will be transformed, translated into the plain text. So the other end, the people at the other end will be able to only read the information. Now what is the profit of using this? What is the profit of using this? The profit is that anyone, suppose a hacker who is constantly keeping an eye in our computers, what will happen if the hacker will get the message also? No doubt he can read it, but he will not find any information. He will not be able to properly decrypt it. He will not get that important information. It will be of no use for him. That will be the profit. Okay, so this whole process is said to be as encryption. All right, students. Okay, I hope you have understood what I taught you.